got in different windows, and I'm sitting here by myself. I go to Anselm's, and there's 7 people sitting there doing this same thing, except they're not by themselves, and it's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like, yeah, but I'm not alone. You know,
That's why I love this hacker house, because we're not like, I don't like the fact that, you know, whenever you're doing this stuff, you're by yourself all the time. It gets, I mean, it's nice to have alone time, and I do, like, maybe we could have cubes set up for that too when you want to work by yourself. But it'd be nice if you could just, like, even, like, there's something even comforting about working on your own solo project, but there's somebody next to you. Because you're like, oh wow, there's, you know, and you can like share tools and stuff, and it's not a problem. And it'd be great if we had like lockers, so that way we can go, oh well, I can just leave my stuff here, I can go home, and then I can come back and work on it another day. Just like, you know, throwing everything around and work it back and forth in the night. Exactly. Oh great.
That's also encouraging. Yeah, you can encourage it, but I mean, if all these people are working in this space, I mean, there's going to be collaboration.
It happens with people in Germany.
Because it really would be awesome to be able to work on projects together, get research done, and publish our research and blog about it.
I think the ideas speak for themselves.
That's true.
Well,
the concern.
These things happen.
Right. If you propose an idea in a project and people will join, it's a good idea. Forcing it is not going to work.
Well, one of the concerns that probably isn't a concern of the group in this room, but as more people come in is going to be, though, is that there is a tension between people who just want free office space to come in and, you know, sort of do whatever it is they're doing. And, you know, you're going to get people who want to do very proprietary stuff. They don't want to tell you what they're doing. They don't, you know, they're not interested in collaborating. It's the exact opposite. They want to use your facility. You have to have a plan for that. And I don't think it's going to be a big deal, like I say, with this startup. Well, no. I'm saying a plan for dealing with it. When somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I paid my $100. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. Leave me the hell alone." What?
But we're a self-selected group. I don't think that the people that want to do proprietary stuff are not going to go to Hacker Space. I mean, that is.
Why are they going to pay $100 to go somewhere and work?
To get access to the tools, to get access to the workspace, and what I'm saying is, I agree, it's not a problem as long as you have a plan up front. That's what I think what you were getting at originally is that you need to have some kind of charter and some plan that says, you know, look, you people aren't welcome here. Just don't even give us your $100 and make sure that it's clear. Yeah, exactly.
Something that Seth mentioned earlier on IRC sometime over last weekend was about having some kind of committee for inducting new members after the initial group is created. And that way we can kind of discuss whether someone is really going to participate in our community or do what you're saying as far as developing proprietary things in our space.
Well, I'm just saying the organizational setup probably has to be done, and it probably has to be done reasonably early, if not on day one, at least in, you know, the first 6 months.
Which is a good place to develop bylaws.
Yeah, I think the organizational structure is probably the biggest question mark. Because there's
space is the biggest question.
Just as a side note on the wiki stuff,
even if we find a building,
we still have to figure out. Yeah.
On the wiki stuff, we've done in WorkBot, we've done really well with Drupal, and I know that you'll find a lot of tech support in that area. There's a lot of Drupal people, and it's worked out really well in terms of collaboration. Because if you are familiar with MediaWiki, you can write your stuff in MediaWiki. If you're familiar, like me, with raw HTML and PHP, you can do your stuff that way. And then the containers and the RSS feeds and the other things.
I like having one information system.
It's a lot of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, because really, if you have multiple forms of communication, people can get lost in misinformed. So we want to limit the amount of communication as far as like having different ways to communicate.
I ran MediaWiki at the county, and really was difficult to get collaboration out of it
as well. And it's not exactly a solid platform.
Yeah, so that's my professional experience.
I'm also the MediaWiki professional.
So I would try to steer somebody towards, I mean, if you're going to do MediaWiki, you might as well go ahead and do WordPress, which is, from the user end, a little bit less brutal But I think if you're actually trying to get collaboration, I think Drupal's probably the way you want to go.
Well, I've got custom logging software that I'm going to finish and throw up on the Hacker Space once we start to get things rolling. So we can start blogging about things, and maybe we can start blogging about the process of starting the thing up to get people interested, sort of get people following the idea. But yeah, if you could throw up a wiki tonight, that'd be awesome. And I'm going to try and get like the design up tonight.
We even got a logo.
Yeah, we have a logo thanks to Seth.
Just some ASCII art.
Very classy. Very, very classy.
So I would say the things that rose to the top from this meeting, of course, finding space. And if you want to help out, it would be great to do whatever you can in your power to find as many possible spaces, contribute them to the powers that be. I would say the scope of what we're trying to accomplish with the group. Is it just going to be like a small group to start and then see what happens, or are we trying to go for like an instant, like attract everyone in the city to come down to the space and share tools right away? Like what's practical as a startup, community facility. There's lots of legal stuff associated with where we go and how many people are going to be there. And then also organizational structure is of course a giant question mark. So at least we have things to talk about.
Yeah, one last thing I guess I would raise. Is there anybody here who has both time and experience who might be interested in starting to look at sponsorship and where we can get some money from outside? Because that'd be great. And I'm happy to help, but I don't think I can take the lead on it. I'm just too busy. Okay.
But I spend most of my day making crews that are long knives out, so I'm quite comfortable with that environment.
Because I think you guys have opportunities to get some outside money. I think it's a realistic thing, even in this economy. So, and that's something you want to start as early as you reasonably have something to show. I mean, you have to have your wiki up, you have to have a vague plan in place, and then you're ready to go at least lay the groundwork for, if we get this up,
Brainstorm any local businesses, any large businesses, anyone you think might be interested in such a thing. We will just throw the chat to the wind and see what rises.
I think equally as important with that is local people who understand where we're coming from and would be willing to let us use their space if they themselves own the property. I'm sure there's at least one person in the city that is, a down-to-earth type of person that just happens to own a building that happens to be vacant right now. So
Another thing, commercial property.
It's tough for so many reasons. If you find it, bless
it's
you.
not all people sitting in Dubai that own
Another
downtown
20 years.
Yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if this is actually going to violate like non-profit, but we can also there's a lot of software developers and we're going to have servers. We can sort of work out a deal where local coffee shops that need websites, we could design it and post it for them for a very, very small monthly fee. I don't know how good of an idea that is, but that's something that came to my mind to sort of help one day.
When you say nonprofit, are you talking 501c?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's a major pain in the ass.
It is. It's really hard.
I would highly recommend you run a corporation at a margin, loss profit, because you'll have much more control over where you go with your money, and you won't have the IRS in your face.
Or find an umbrella organization, of which there's quite a few out there who will run your 501c3 under their.
501c3 is like you might as well just ask for the government to come in and look at every dollar you spend.
Yeah. Well, but like I said, the umbrella organizations are pretty good at helping you with this. And if you really want to be a 501c3 ed nonprofit or whatever you're going to be, I'll help you find somebody in town who does umbrella 501c3s. You don't want to set up your own, really.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking of just doing a state-level nonprofit, not an IRS 501c3,
Yeah.
but a regular state nonprofit. It's
Yeah.
like
You can do a state mutual.
it's like $40 or something, or even an LLC or LLP, depending on the organizational structure.
You can make profit
Right.
at a mutual benefit or charity corporation, but it must be reinvested. If there are any dividends being taken, any profit taking, you now have access to flexibility.
That's exactly the organization I was thinking of.
So, I mean, a lot of people really look at the nonprofit and they mean 501c3 because they really want to do good, but what happens is that they have less control over how their money's spent, they have much more oversight, And so if you really want to do good, you're almost better off forming a for-profit, even though it sets off some ideological weirdness.